There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Sock Monkey Mike show here live. Well, yeah, kind of live on YouTube. Make sure you guys go listen. Man, if you're listening not only on YouTube, now we're on Spotify. This is actually cool. You get to listen to us while on the road, so you don't have to look through this entire video and just sit back and relax. Thank you guys once again. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe on not just YouTube, but also Spotify and wherever you can find podcasts. Right now with me, we're heading into the new year of 2021 with a very special guest right here, a very young and rising star in professional wrestling. He's done a lot of interviews before, and rightfully so. He's so active in the pro wrestling world and the pro wrestling community. Not only that, he has made an appearance on NXT television where he was in the same room as my hero, Johnny Gargano. He also was mentioned by one American Nightmare, Cody. But not only that, great matches to follow up, great Canadian wrestler. And overall, such a great guy. So I can't wait to get a conversation with them. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the one and only Kid Chocolate. How are you?
Pretty good, man. That was a pretty great introduction, man. That was awesome. That was pretty. I'd have to say probably up there with some of the best, or probably top three up there for sure, man. That was awesome. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, my friend. New setup, new everything, and I do appreciate being that top three.
Oh yeah, man. That was an awesome introduction, man. I'm telling you. Well, yeah, your setup, your everything is looking good over there, man. I see you.
I do appreciate it. Starting off the new year strong. Hopefully, we all survived 2020 and we're going 2021 strong.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope.
And what I absolutely love about Kid Chocolate's background is the wrestling ring. He's in the training, teaching, new younger talent. I do want to start off with, how does it feel knowing that, you started 2020 pretty strong, pandemic had hit, and, what was that kind of goal going forward?
Man, that was a good thing that you brought that up, man. First of all, I'm in this place 24/7. If I can say that, I live like 5 minutes away from this gym, and it's like a wrestling. We got like 2 rings in here and everything, great setup. And then like outside just that door, it's a full-on gym. So like I can just go out there and work out, whatever. So this is a great facility for a guy like me or for any wrestler coming up. But in terms of my year, man, it's been rough. I mean, I'm lucky in terms of I get to train all the time and stay in shape and stay at top of my game and actually get better as time goes on. But in terms of doing things like shows and stuff like that, nothing's going on here. But like right before the lockdown, man, things were looking pretty good for me, man. I was supposed to go down to South Africa and be on a show with Rob Van Dam, Crime Time, rest in peace to Shad. Emma, there was a star-studded show, and I was supposed to be a part of that. I think it was a tour of South Africa. We were supposed to be there for a couple of days, and after that I was supposed to head down to Puerto Rico for a couple of shows, and I think leading up to those shows, I did a lot of speaking of that NXT appearance. I did leading up to those shows I just mentioned. I did I think like 4 extra spots for WWE, like bunch of extra spots, and one of them being that Gargano thingy. But I've been lucky enough and known good people down in WWE that I get opportunities to get looked at, and unfortunately for me, I'm so early in my career that every time that I go down there, I'm told, hey, just go get some more experience. You're on the right path, and so on and so forth. And I'm not a guy to complain about that. I'm so happy that I get these opportunities so early and get seen so early. In terms of anything else, man, things are just, we're on the lockdown. We're locked down, man. It's lockdown season.
Well, of course it is lockdown season, but at the same time, you are still pursuing that passion, showcasing that passion at such a young age.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. You have to. Like, I always say this, and if you're passionate about something, you're gonna find a way to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how bad things are in the world, how bad things are going on in your personal life. If you're very passionate about something, you go out and get it. And that's exactly for me. I'm very passionate about wrestling and becoming a wrestler, and and making it to the big time. And I work so hard all day training in here. So like any opportunity or anything I can do to further my chances or to further my dream, I'll do anytime.
Absolutely. And you're putting in that work, and you're truly putting in everything and beyond to pursue, what you want to do, and that is professional wrestling. One thing I do want to mention is you did train at the Landstorm Wrestling Academy. So
Sure.
one thing I do want to ask is, what was it like being under the tutelage of Landstorm?
Well, man, Lance, I always laugh when I get asked about Lance because Lance is a funny guy. But I actually have like a decent relationship with him now, where we talk very often. But going to that school was something else, man. I great experience, great things to say about it. But the training was top notch. Like, I don't know how people in the rest of the world get trained when they're becoming wrestlers and how they're shown the ropes and stuff. But Lance's way of doing it was amazing. Lance, we trained for 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. I think a few hours a day. I think it was like 3 hours a day. But it was like everything you needed to know, he taught you. Everything you needed to know, both in the ring, outside of the ring, in the locker room, how to behave, how to introduce yourself to people. He covered everything. Everything you needed to become a professional wrestler, from gear to how to, funny enough, from getting gear, taping your wrist, doing all sorts of things. He covered it. So it's like to be some kid who's trying to become a professional wrestler and to go to a school where the teacher and the coach and the guy has done it at the top level of WWE, or like been to the WWE and performed at a top level. And for him to show you all the things he did, or all the things he's learned on his way, or and in his experience of time, it's an amazing opportunity, man. Lance was awesome, and it's so unfortunate for anybody coming up now that he closed his school, that he's no longer training people. So anybody who's trying to become a wrestler on this side of the world, or any side of the world, because he got people from all over the world. Any person that wanted to become a wrestler and wanted a great coach, very unfortunate for them, because he's no longer training. Who's to say? Because also it's always the saying in professional wrestling: never say never. Who's to say he's gonna? Who's to say he's not gonna train again? Right? There's always a chance that he's gonna open the school again and train people. And if he does, those that get trained by him are very, very lucky.
And you say that, being very, very lucky with the Landstorm Training Academy.
Yeah.
What was the vibe like training under someone that was part of WWE, WCW, ECW, just having that experience behind him and just learning under his wing?
Man, I've seen. Let me say this before I say that too. It's like, I've seen a lot of schools where like there's a lot of like freedom. There's a lot of joking around. There's a lot of there's a lot of room for learning, but there's also a lot of room for not learning in some schools, I believe, right? Obviously, I'm not talking about the top schools, but like at Lance's, it was a serious, like, what's that called? Hemisphere. It was a serious, you come through the doors, it was serious. It was like, hey, you came here to learn. You paid a lot of money to get Lance to teach you. So it was like, as soon as he got in, it was serious. It was get in. When he tells you to get in the ring, get in. When he tells you get out. Take your chances. And then for me too, I was very, very lucky, because I had a lot of people that I'd known or I knew before I went that went to him and that trained. So they already knew how he was and what he was expecting from people. So when I was there, I was very lucky that I already knew certain things. So like, as soon as he got in the ring and he said, get in the ring, I was the first one in. I was the first one in, first one out, for like all sorts of things. So he took a liking to me. He didn't know I had a cheat code. He didn't know if people already told me what he liked, but it looked like I knew what the hell I was doing. But yeah, the training was very serious, and he took it very, very serious. Funny thing, his character was all serious in WWE and stuff like that. It wasn't a character. He really was a serious guy. He really didn't smile much. He really didn't do much. So it was funny. It was funny.
I'm actually kind of curious now. During training, has he ever said the world famous catchphrase, "If I could be serious for a moment"?
Probably once or twice, maybe. Yeah. He might have. I'm not gonna lie, saying he didn't, but he might have. if you get to know Lance, he's actually a pretty funny guy. If you get to know Lance, he has a different humor. You know, he's not like he's not the typical funny person, but if you get to understand his humor, he's a very funny guy. You know, he's a very smart, very super smart guy actually. But yeah, he's a funny guy, and if you get the chance to actually know him, you get to like him, man. He's a super awesome dude.
And before we go on to more about Kid Chocolate, I do want to pick your brain a little bit about the current state of wrestling. Of course, you know, right now without fans, it's really hard to kind of pick your territory, really kind of get into things, whether that's WWE, AEW, Primetime Live over in the NWA in California. One thing I'm very curious to know is that, of course, you're one of the biggest, if not the biggest wrestlers to come out of Alberta, Canada right now. Yeah. And one thing I'm very curious about is that 2020 was already a big year for Kid Chocolate. However, 2021, I'm expecting bigger things. And is one of those bigger things possibly AEW?
Man, I've actually, before I say that, there's a guy here actually. I always like to compliment myself because I work hard. I am, in fact, one of the best, one of the top guys in Alberta. I would say that, coming out of Alberta. And there's another guy. His name is Michael Richard Blaze. He's top notch, and I actually train with him a lot. He actually is the best out here. So he's what's that called? I get the chance to pick his brain, but I go toe to toe. You know, I'm right behind him if anything, right? But man, we actually talk a lot about AEW. AEW being, you know, a lot more open than WWE. You know, they're willing to give guys like us, independent guys, in random places in the world, such as Calgary, you know, chances, right? So as of, I would say 2021, you can definitely bank on possibly seeing me on AEW Dark. I'll put my money on that one.
And I'm also curious, if you had to choose your opponent for AEW Dark, who would be the perfect opponent for Kid Chocolate?
For me, ooh, that's pretty good. You know, I'm actually I'm good friends with Pillman Jr.
Oh,
so
okay.
Brian Pillman Jr. might be a good opponent for me. If not, hell, let's see. There's a lot of talent over there, man. There's a lot of.
I would say that complimenting your high-flying style,
sure.
I would have to say Ray Phoenix.
Whoa. Ray Phoenix, top notch. Top notch. Top notch. I don't think I keep up with that guy. I'm thinking. Ooh. There's a lot of people over there. Maybe I've seen what's his name wrestle down in Alberta too. What's his name? Jungle Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jungle Boy could be a great opponent for me too. So I'll go with those two guys, Brian Pillman Jr. and Jungle Boy.
Those would be definitely high, top-notch matchups.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir.
we will see that in 2021.
Oh.
One thing that I also do want to mention,
Sure.
when we talk about AEW, we also talk about Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes, you have interactions with in the past. What was it like kind of interacting with Cody? You know, was it something that you expected, or was it something that was like, man, I didn't know this about him?
Oh man, I've had many interactions with him actually. He's a good dude. He's actually him and his wife. Actually, congratulations to both of them for having a kid on the way. But they're awesome people, both of them, man. I don't know that I don't think I had many expectations. Like first meeting him, like other than hey man, hopefully this guy's not a asshole or anything like that. But yeah, man, from the first day I seen him to like I've met him, like I said, a few, you know, we've had many interactions on shows and stuff like that. So he's been great. You know, I've actually written with him on the way to shows and stuff like that. So we've had good conversations on the car rides and stuff like that. He's an awesome dude, both him and his wife.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, I know he is not champion at the moment, but Cody Rhodes TNT Open Championship challenge. Hopefully, you know, if we do have a second one, I expect Kid Chocolate to be on there.
I might give him a call. For sure. Yeah, I'd definitely. Cody Rhodes is awesome. I'd definitely wrestle him. I'd definitely give him a run for his money.
Absolutely. And one thing, when we do talk about the Open Championship challenge that the TNT Championship did hold with Cody Rhodes,
Yeah.
did you have a favorite that really caught your eye that said, I got to be a part of this?
In terms of the challenges, like of the guys he's wrestled?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Because he had a lot of good ones.
There, of course. No, Cody, man. Cody's top notch, man. I'd have to say, there's a kid he wrestled. His name is not on my head right now. Name some of the people he wrestled.
So Ricky Stark, Eddie Kingston. I'm trying to name like everybody right now.
You know what? You first person you just named is awesome. That's actually another person that I would love to wrestle in AEW Dark is Ricky Stark. That's pretty Ricky right there. That guy's talented. He's amazing. But yeah, that guy, man, that guy is. Any fans that watch AEW or any wrestling fans, keep an eye on that guy. That guy's gonna be top notch. Man. Ricky Stark he's gonna be serious. But yeah, I don't think I watched that Eddie Kingston match, but it had a lot of stream. It had a lot of it was trending for a while. So I'm assuming it was great. But like I said, Cody Rhodes is top notch, man. He's top notch performer.
Well, hopefully we do see Cody Rhodes versus Kid Chocolate in 2021. One thing I do want to mention is that you have a great relationship with the Hart family, whether that's with Bret Hart, whether that's with Tyson Kidd, and of course, just that connection with the Hart family, the most prestigious family in the professional wrestling world, is truly something special. I know very few people that know the Hart family like yourself. So what was it like kind of, getting to know Bret Hart, getting to know Tyson Kidd and the Hart family?
Oh, man. I'll speak more. I shouldn't say more, but Tyson Kidd is obviously a lot closer in age to me than Bret is. So I've had a lot of interactions of like doing a lot more things with TJ, like playing games or going out like drinking or whatever it is, right? So we've had a lot of interactions just because we're closer in age than me and Bret are. But yeah, TJ, man, Tyson Kidd is awesome. I think he's one of the. I was a Tyson Kidd fan from day one. He actually was the first wrestler I met ever. So Tyson Kidd is one of my favorites, and I think one of the world's best wrestlers. Period. At his in his prime. Period. Actually, I don't even think he got the chance to be in his prime, right? But Tyson Kidd is top-notch people, man. Great human, both him and his wife, Maddie. Great people, always giving. That's one thing that also to go into Bret too. Bret, and I'm really, really close friends with the entire family, whether that is his children, like both his boys and his daughters and the grandchildren, his wife. Everybody over there, I'm really close friends with, and for me, I get to know Bret Hart, the father and the grandfather, and the uncle. So I get to see a different side of Bret the Hitman Hart. Not the sharpshooter guy, not the excellence of execution, but yeah, man, me and him have a great relationship, and he's so helpful. Whenever I do stuff in here, I always record it and send it to him, and he'll always send me a text of what he thinks and break it down, or he'll be like, hey man, keep doing that, but next time I'll show you a different way to do it. So he's very, very helpful. Same with TJ. Every night I always talk to TJ every night or text him all day, but I always, whenever I go home, I talk to him on the phone and stuff like that, and he always breaks down things that I need to be shown and need explanation for. But yeah, the Hart family is top people, man. They're amazing. They're giving, which is which is not, you don't see a lot of that in wrestling. There's not a lot of people that are willing to give in wrestling. A lot of people get, but they don't give, and that's the beauty about that family, man. They're always willing to give, So it's good. They're good-hearted people.
Getting that support, from the Hart family is truly something special. Just getting that knowledge, getting that, okay, you need to improve on this. It feels like a free Christmas present every single time.
Oh man, yeah, you tell me about it, right? It's awesome, man. Every time Unfortunately, I don't get to see TJ a lot due to obviously him living in Tampa and me being in Calgary. So, but I talk to him as much as possible. But yeah, man. But seeing Bret is always like, like I just said, I know like the father and all that, but it's always me being a wrestler, me pursuing this, and also him actually being my top two wrestlers of all time. So like me being in the same kitchen or same living room or being like this close to him and having conversations with him, it always gets that like, it always makes me like laugh inside, like dude, is this for real? Like I'm with Bret the Hitman Hart, but yeah, it's crazy. It's always I'm always like a little kid around that, and it's awesome, man.
It's always that kid in the candy store feeling.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of the things I'm really curious about too, that I just thought of right now, of course, you're so passionate about Bret Hart being your all-time favorite professional wrestler, or one of them. So one of the things I do have to ask is 1997, Montreal screw job.
Wow. Yeah.
What was your reaction firsthand when seeing it happen?
Dude, you know what's crazy about that, man? It's I always, like, at least once a week I watch back, like either Wrestling the Shadows or the match or just interviews or even like asking Bret about it. But it's what a crazy time in professional wrestling. What a situation. Who's like holy shit. Like, holy, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Bret the Hitman Hart got screwed. Like, that's John Cena getting screwed today. That's like AJ Styles getting screwed. You know how crazy that would be. So it's like, obviously, a lot of fans today don't. Other than the older ones, a lot of the fans today, the younger ones, they can't comprehend the situation. But like I just said, putting it in that example, or giving an example of like John Cena, WWE champion, in his prime, getting screwed, it's like that crazy. And like the situation was all crazy, man. But I'm so happy for Bret to pass, to put that behind him and be in a great relationship with both WWE, or even being in a good relationship with Shawn and Vince. It's good for him. It's good for his health. It's good for everything, because it'd be a shame to have that guy's career not be witnessed by people today.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention as well is your passion for professional wrestling. You have so much passion for this business. You have so much love. What got you into that passion? Like, what inspired the passion for you? Was it a particular match? Was it a particular show? Or was it a particular person?
So it was just a chain of events. Like, excuse me, bunch of stuff. Like, when I was in grade 9, obviously, like, much like any wrestling fan, I was obsessed. It was like religious. Like, on Mondays or like Sundays when I was going to bed, I was super excited to leave school that day to go home and watch Raw, or things like that. I was counting like legit the hours to go home and watch Raw to see certain things. But and funny enough, my junior high had like maybe 7 or 8 kids my age, all boys, that were like super in love with wrestling, just like me. So it made wrestling that much funner, right? It was like going to a sports bar and like talking about the NBA or NFL or whatever with a bunch of grown guys. But it was like that to us. It was like every day, like on Monday, after Monday Night Raw, go to school the next day on Tuesday. It was like, dude, everybody was so excited to talk about what happened, to talk about the matches or like the stories or whatever. And crazy enough at the time too, of me being grade 9 was when Randy Orton had that shaved, bald-headed Randy Orton when he was kicking everybody. It was like, and he had his craziest run, I think, the best Randy Orton ever, I think. But I was Bret Hart being my top 2, Randy Orton is my top 1, Bret second. But what's it called? I thought Randy was just amazing, but my favorite wrestler ever. And then going to school, wrestling in the hallways all day long. Teachers got tired of us, everything. But that summer, the 2009 summer, Monday Night Raw was in Calgary, and we went to it. And I remember it had been my first show ever, and we go into this building and the setup, the lights, the camera, the fans, people going crazy, the ring. It was just like, even being a kid that age, it was like something inside me was like, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing ever. And there's no doubt in my mind that one day I want to do this. Like, absolutely. I want to come down the ramp. I want everybody to go as crazy as I'm going right now to see, like, what I call wrestlers for me. So I was like, I'm going to do this. So I made my mind up at grade 9 to be a professional wrestler, and I never gave up. And it's working pretty okay for me right now.
You are pursuing that childhood dream. You're showcasing that childhood dream. It's always awesome because that's reminiscent to me. I've had the same dream since I was 10 or 11 years old, and I've still done it ever since. So having that passion and that goal really, really transcends into what you do in your craft.
Sure. Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. And like wrestling is one of those sports, or one of those things in general, that you have to be very, very passionate about. Otherwise it's difficult to get into it, because I've seen a lot of people like say they want to become professional wrestlers and come in, do it, 3-4 months later, it's like, my body hurts. This stuff is not a joke. I'm out of here. Like, it happens all the time. It happens everywhere in the world. So like the people that you get to see on TV, those that are on TV weekly that are wrestling, are those rare people that stuck with it, that pursued it, that worked hard, that were very, very passionate about it. And I believe one day I'll be joining those guys as well.
Having that goal and having that mindset of a growth mindset is absolutely great, especially when you're trying to continue to improve and to, better yourself. So it's always great to have that growth mindset.
For sure, man. Yeah, that's right on. That's right on point.
Now, of course, when we're talking about current wrestling, we talk about how Kid Chocolate is killing it, improving his craft, having that Kobe Bryant mentality. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Mamba mentality. Yes, sir.
That Mamba mentality. One thing I am curious about is that when you're looking at current wrestlers that are currently working, whether that's Impact Wrestling, whether that's AEW, WWE, or even if they're in the independent scene, is there certain professional wrestlers right now that you have an eye on that maybe possibly we could see you in the ring with?
Oh, man, so much. There's so much talent out there, man. Speaking of all those companies, man, I'm a big, obviously, like, if I had to pick where to go, I'm always a WWE guy. Like, big, obviously, that's what got me into it. That's the guys that I love, all the people. So if I had to wrestle someone, or like looking forward to wrestling someone, it had to be down in NXT for sure. Like, there's a lot of people down there. I would love to wrestle Johnny Gargano, your hero. That's a good guy. What's it called? There's so much people. Man, like I said, AEW, Ricky Starks, for sure. That's the one guy. Pillman. Impact. I'm a big fan of Chris Bay. Mm-hmm. Chris Bay is the real deal. I got the chance to speak to him in New York WrestleMania weekend, and we chopped it up a little. But there's a guy that I had I actually spoke to him right after his WWE Championship win at WrestleMania. I was there, Kofi Kingston.
Oh wow,
that's what a historic moment that was, man. I was so lucky to talk to him. Maybe like it was 30 minutes right after he won. So it was like being there, being around all those guys too. So like Kofi would be like a dream for sure.
There's so many dream matches for Kid Chocolate out there. I actually love the suggestion of Kofi Kingston versus Kid Chocolate. Two very, very passionate competitors going at it. Two Africans for sure. Yeah. No, I'm about it. Kofi's the real deal too, man. I love that guy. Very nice guy. Well, Kid Chocolate, I do appreciate you taking your time, getting a conversation, and learning about your story and showcasing your story to the world.
For sure, man. I appreciate it for having me, man. It was a good chat, great chat. Loved it, man. I would love to do it again.
Well, before we go, I do have one final question.
Sure.
And that final question is, 2021 looks to be the year of the Kid Chocolate, making waves into every single promotion. One thing I do have to ask is that no matter what company that you do sign with, will there be a chance that Kid Chocolate will be making headlines in the professional wrestling world.
Absolutely, man. That's number one. That's the thing, man. It's anywhere I go, I always make headlines. And that's one thing about me. I always make noise wherever I go. If we were talking about basketball terms, I'd be, I wouldn't be Kobe because Kobe is all-time great, but I'll definitely be, I'd be a Kawhi. I'd make headlines all day long, whether it's load management or not. But no, man. Anywhere I go, I'd make headlines, man. And anywhere I go, I definitely work my ass off to be a champion and to be a star. So anywhere I go in the future that you guys see me, you'll definitely see me as a star.
Well, once again, Kid Chocolate, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. If you guys could follow Kid Chocolate on all social medias, make sure you guys click that link below. If you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you guys go check out his profile, which if I could look that up really quick, it is going to be, he's labeled the Kid, but it's actually Kid Chocolate with 2 E's and
Yes,
no
sir.
H, or actually, yeah, 1 H. Kid Chocolate with 2 E's. If you're listening to us on Spotify, but if you are watching on YouTube, thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, all that other business.
I'm sure Mike will put all the links down there for my pages. So don't worry about it.
Of course. And until we meet again, I will see you guys.
See you guys.